approach, and I know it's one of your favorite ways to fish, is the Carolina rig up here now is getting very, very popular.
It is becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, especially for the fall and cold water fishing, which before it was not. Before, typically, as you know, you fished up here, dragging tubes was the way to go. But now the Carolina rig is gaining more and more popularity. So, and it's working on both species, smallmouth and largemouth, and we're catching them.
It is absolutely
catching them really well, and some good sized fish.
That's great. That's great. Carolina rig is, I mean, it gets bad rap out on the tournament, the professional tournament trail. Guys think of it as maybe a limit finder kind of technique for small fish.
Small fish,
or that sort of stuff. But I couldn't disagree more. It's one of my favorite ways to fish. I won my first tournament as the Bassmasters on Lake Martin in Alabama in February, and I won it on the Carolina rig. So, it's a great cold water technique, and it wins. It's been winning tournaments for years and years, and it just kind of gets a bad rap out there. But guys like me and Peter T, we keep throwing it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be throwing it out there. This lake is really set up for that kind of fishing, throwing things like football jigs and Carolina rigs.
Mm-hmm.
This lake is really well suited for that type of fishing, so I'm certainly going to be rigged for that in Oklahoma.
Well, we'll be, hopefully you'll be organized enough that we get the rods all in the right spot, and Pete doesn't pick up the wrong rods, spend half the day looking for his Carolina rig. We want to make sure that definitely you're in a position to win up there, Pete. When I know you're busy, I know you're down at the show there in Raleigh, and you guys, I believe, have a full house there tonight. So I'm gonna let you go. Before I do let you go, though, Pete, I want to say, give you the opportunity if you'd like to have any special mention to any sponsors.
Without a doubt. I'd like to thank Evinrude. They've been with me for such a long time, and I'm excited to bring them to the Cat Classic. I have a bunch of new sponsors since I made the Classic this year with Gamma Lines, Yamamoto Baits. Some of you guys may have heard of the Senko.
Is that a new bait, the Senko?
It's a good one, and I'm awful glad to have them on board. Round Valley Tungsten is another one. Death Shimmer Spinnerbaits is a great spinnerbait. You guys have to look at that. The smallmouth, they're going to tear that up. They haven't seen that before.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about Bass Cat Boats. I'm going to be working with them starting in February of this year.
Wow.
And I'm really excited. It's a great company, and I'm really looking forward to using the products. They're outstanding, and I'll be running those in the Classic this year, so I'm really excited about that.
Wow, that is exciting news. We weren't aware of the fact that you were over with Bass Cat, though, Pete, but congratulations on that move. And I can tell you now, Scotty here with me runs a Bass Cat, and he picked up his new Cougar, 2013 Cougar at the end of last year, and we got some hours on it out fishing smallies, and it's a tank. It's a monster. What a boat. What a ride. I'm pretty sure you're going to be really happy running those products.
I'm really excited. I'm so tickled that these folks have thought enough of me to want to join my team. I'm looking forward to representing them all at the Classic, and man, I sure hope we have a big trophy to hold up after it's all done.
Yeah, so do we, and we're looking forward to that. That being said, Pete, listen, I want to, on behalf of all the listeners tonight and everybody who's going to be downloading this podcast, I want to say a big thank you from all your fans up here in Canada and up north. We'll be definitely rooting for you come that Classic in February, and we want to wish you luck. We want to congratulate you on the season that you had and the numbers you put up to make the Classic. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. And I told Steve the other night when I spoke with him, and we were discussing you, I said, and I wasn't aware. I said, this would be a great guy to have working with Bass Cat. And lo and behold, you're with Bass Cat. So that just happened to work out great. So we're really happy about that. So I want to say thank you. Let you get back to your job and selling all your stuff in Raleigh. And please say hi to everybody in Raleigh from the people in Canada sitting under 5 feet of snow. But we're thinking about them.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. I also want to thank Susquehanna Fishing Tackle. That's sfttackle.com. You can get Pete's Quiet Killer, which is my custom crankbait that we didn't get to talk about. Maybe next time when I'm on the show, when we talk about how the Classic went down, we'll talk about the Quiet Killer.
Well, that sounds great.
How that helped me win the Classic.
We've got that recorded now, Pete. So you're definitely coming back.
We might have to hold you to that.
You're definitely coming back on the show, and we're going to do a post-mortem on the Bassmaster Classic with Pete Gluszek.
I'll be there, guys. Anytime.
Here you go, buddy. Listen, Pete, thanks very much. We'll let you get going again, and as I said, we'll be looking forward to following you at the Classic results.
Outstanding. Thanks so much for having me on the show, and I'll catch up with you guys real soon.
Thank you, Pete.
Take care, Pete.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. As you can see, a guy who's a veteran of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. He seems to have his stuff together.
He's
got
collected.
his eyes and crossed his T's.
Yes, he has. He's very calm, very collected. The energy's there.
He might be a little bit more organized than he let on.
I think he is. It's just obviously the guys. There are some guys I've seen that are exceptionally organized in their boat.
I'm not one of them, nor are you.
Nor am I.
No, but
but there are the odd ones.
There are the odd ones,
and I think that's to his point. It is maybe something that everybody can use a little bit of improvement on at the end of the day, and I think that's probably an area that he can.
Well, I think that's something that I'm going to try and work on this year. Is try and keep my stuff limited to what is really necessary.
Yeah.
To not overdo it, because a lot of times, it's overkill. You'll carry
everything.
Way too many baits. Yeah. I know when I bring my box of Cincos, like he was saying, the Gary Yamamoto Cincos.
Yeah.
I got about every color underneath the sun.
Well, you know what I did I was like that too one time. Yeah. You know what I did to stop that? I take one bag and I say, if it doesn't fit in this one bag, I'm not bringing it.
Well, yeah. And I've noticed that. When you come fishing with me, let's say on my boat, you bring out one bag. That's it.
I'm not bringing 2 or 3
bags.
It
might weigh 600 pounds.
But it's one bag. It's one bag. And I try not to bring 500 fishing rods.
No, it makes sense. It makes total sense.
But
when you're going into a tournament and you're fishing like the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh, you got to bring everything because you don't know what's going to work, right? You got to try and find out.
Like he said, is you want to be able to adapt to whatever the conditions might throw at you. But
most definitely.
That in itself, for me, is just nerve-wracking. Like,
of course.
You got to make these decisions on the fly.
Well, that's it.
And you want to make sure you have everything. And if you have too much choice or too much selection, honestly,
it adds to confusion.
It adds to confusion.
That's it.
So props to these guys, because all these guys that have made it to this level of the game, it means that they've taken it and they've understood what kind of changes need to be made.
Correct.
And they don't get confused about all this clutter,
that's
all
right.
that stuff.
They see right through the clutter, and they're very focused on what they need to do next.
Well, Pete seemed very, very focused. I think he's already got his game plan down, regardless of the fact whether or not he's been able to fish.
6 days on the water, didn't wet a line. Remember
that is so hard to do.
Remember that.
Yes.
Remember that. Because you and I both know a lot of guys that get out on that water and they have to fish.
They have to fish.
They got to sting fish and they got to fish. It's not a day on the water. You got to hate stinging fish. You've got to learn the body of water. Those are the fish
that you're going to want to catch when it comes time to the tournament. Exactly. I understand if you're fishing it 6 months earlier.
Yeah.
But still, if you devote the time to just looking around and understanding what that lake is doing and how it works and what, if shallow, deep, or whatever the bite might be.
Well,
how else are you going to know that there's bait all over the lake?
Well, this is it. This is like he said. He learned this lake typically is known as the Clearwater Lake.
Around.
Now he's finding out by driving around and just looking. He's found muddy water. He's found clear water,
shallow bays, stuff like that.
He's found a whole bunch of things that maybe he wouldn't have found had he just gone fishing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's fishing so far before the tournament that even if I go fishing and I catch a lot of fish, by the time this classic comes up, everything's changed.
Well, you know, and I know, you can fish a week, right up until the day of the tournament, get to the tournament day, and everything's already changed.
That's right.
From one day to another.
Correct.
So, whether you fished it 6 months prior, 2 months prior, or 6 days before, I think what we're getting from these guys is that you got to analyze it the same way.
Exactly. And what he's saying to us here is he's looking at the conditions he's looking at the layout of the land. And he's saying, okay, this part of the lake is clear. 6 months or not, it's still going to be clear.
Right.
Right? And this part here, there's a bay, and this bay...
There's a river coming into it.
That's not going to change. So he's learning all the stuff that he knows. When he gets back there in 6 weeks or whatever, it's going to be there still.
Yeah.
Would not be there necessarily would be if he had a bite.
Right.
Right? That could be gone in 6 weeks.
Right. That is correct.
So what he's saying is, I'm going to learn the body of water, and at the last moment, just before I want to figure out the pattern.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. What's the pattern now?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus the guys and we have guys even for the B1 that do this. They come down 3 weeks before the tournament, 4 weeks.
And fish for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. And then a week before the tournament, the pattern changes.
Well, we saw it last year. The pattern changed.
We did.
Changed a lot.
It changed huge.
We were fishing a shallow bite. We had a great shallow bite.
And then boom.
All of a sudden,
it was gone.
It was gone.
That's right. And everybody was lost.
Yeah. Well, look at the weight.
Yeah.
We had great weights in the top 15 or maybe even 20. But we had 150 boats.
That's right. And then it went kaboom.
It went kaboom.
The bottom fell out.
You know, and that you're talking about 75% of the field.
Which tells you how many guys were fishing shallow. Right?
Hey.
Yeah. Tells you how many guys spent those weeks targeting that shallow bite.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think all that fishing pressure, all these guys catching fish, also have an impact on whether or not that bite is going to hold up.
Exactly. Did the pressure push them off? Maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Could very well have been.
Could very well have done. So that was a great interview, very informative interview with Pete. And again, I thank him for taking the time out and congratulate him on his new deal with Basscat. And we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that too.
For sure. Maybe we'll get Pete or go down and see Pete.
I wonder what kind of boat he's going to get. Is he going to get a Puma? Is he going to get a Cougar? Is he going to get an Era?
Geez, there's so many nice ones.
There are.
You know?
Yeah.
Tonight's shout-outs. Reno Viola.
Is he back? He's back. I think I saw a post
he's back. The Panama Kid is back.
And,
all tan. You know, there's pictures. I was sent pictures of Reno on the beach with a big Panama hat and a Speedo. I don't know.
A Speedo?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a dangerous picture.
I'll tell you right now.
Did you retweet it? Or
you better not do anything to me in the future because I got pictures.
And we're right around the corner. January 21st is coming right here.
Yes.
And we'll be on the airwaves of WRVO.
Yes. Yeah, they got a test stream running right now, 24/7 on TuneIn Radio under Reno Viola Outdoors and on Shoutcast Radio.
I can't wait to hear the song for WRVO. I want to hear WRVO in Cincinnati.
You think it's going to be like WKRP or something?
Yeah, it sounds something like that. You
think Reno, did you watch WKRP?
Of course I watched WKRP.
Okay, so do you think Reno's going to have like a free turkey
I don't know.
where they were throwing the turkeys from the helicopter?
I don't know, but we can maybe motivate them to do something.
I swear to God, I didn't know turkeys couldn't fly. So hopefully Reno will not get into the turkey contest, but I tell you right now, I looked at the lineup of shows that WRVR is going to be carrying, and it is insane. It is a star-studded lineup of entertainment as far as fishing goes, which will be running 24/7 on this network. So we're really, really excited to see exactly how this is going.
How this is going, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
Reno was really pissed off this week, right?
What?
He got back. He had to go visit a doctor, right?
Okay.
So I guess he made an appointment to see the doctor. And, of course, typically when you go see a doctor, okay, show up at 3 o'clock. So you show up at the doctor's office at 3 o'clock, and you sit there till like 4 or 5 o'clock. Well, I got an interesting story about that because I have a bit of empathy for Reno. I once canceled an appointment to my dentist, and he didn't say anything. I just called the secretary, I guess, the day before, and I said, I'm canceling the appointment. I rebooked the appointment. I showed up at the dentist office, and the lady at the receptionist said to me, Mr. Boudreau, you owe us $35.
$35?
Yeah,
I know, they did that
for canceling the appointment.
Yeah, I know.
So I said, no problem. I paid him the $35. And then, so I sat there for an hour waiting for him to come out. He was late for my appointment.
Right.
So he walked out. He said, Mr. Boudreau. I said, sir, you owe me $50. He said, why? I said, you're late for my appointment.
I tried that too.
He didn't like that. He didn't find it funny. I didn't find it funny either, and neither did the 3 people in the waiting room.
Right.
So I canceled the appointment. He gave me back my $35, and I went to somebody else. So, Reno, I understand the frustration you went through, and you're right. Well, look, we're getting time.
Yeah, we're getting pushed off the air.
Yeah, tonight's sponsor recognition, Fishing Tech, Gary Goshwin for all your bass boat needs. Gold Wing Auto Care, Mr. Gardner Boys Winter Tires.
K-Way Outdoors.
Yep, get protected from the elements.
Yes.
Sims Baits, the Baits of Glory, and Navionics, making sure you get back both on land and water.
New sponsor on the show here, Power Pole.
Mine's on order. Here comes my blade.
Here we go.
Nothing holds in your boat stronger than a Power Pole anchor. And QCTackleShop.com, new colors and baits and tackle for 2013. Check them out at QCTackleShop.com. You can find us on iTunes, the podcast section.
Stitcher Radio, Smart Radio for a mobile app.
blogtalkradio.com for your laptop or desktop.
Or fishingcanada.net.
That's right. And starting in
January 21st.
Counting down to the WRVO. But Angelo is going to be involved.
All right, well, we're going to get booted off the air.
We're going to get off the air.
Yeah, because we got to limit our shows now to 60 minutes.
That's right, because